Hey, everybody. Welcome to the April Zoom meeting. 2021, April 14th. Hard to believe. It's been over a year that we've been doing this on Zoom. And maybe perhaps one day we'll be back to eating breakfast together. Feel it coming. But so grateful to have you all here. Let me just go ahead and put the slide up. I think most of you are familiar with this, but in case we have anybody here for the first time, we typically will go around, share our name, the name of our church or organization, agency, and then just let me know if you have an announcement for later in the meeting, unless it's just a quick thing, you know. And then if you have any prayer requests, I'll give an update on Pastor Jeff as he's battling pancreatic cancer. Talked to him yesterday. So, but before we do that, I want to start by showing a little video, and kind of in my mind shows what we do here at the Lemon Grove Clergy Association, also the Lemon Grove Collaborative, just this group of people and how sometimes there are really monumental things that need to happen in our communities. And a lot of people just make a lot of noise. They complain, they criticize, and it just takes somebody to actually step out and start doing something, and then it catches on. So I'm gonna share. It's just a short video, and some of you have probably seen this before. So if that's the case, I apologize, or it's inspiring either way. So optimize for video. Here we go.
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर। सर आइए सर। ए चल चल जाओ बोला क्या बात करता है, क्या ऊपर से जाएगा, क्या ऊपर से जा
गया मेन शो।
I hate this country. कुछ करो ना।
अब मैं वहां जाके क्या उखाड़ लूंगा?
कैसी जाने बूंदे आई, जाने कैसा दर्द लाई, सामने क्या है ये तेरे, क्यों रुका है तू बता रे हो। कौन तुझको पार लेगा, कौन होगा वो मसीहा, जिसे तू ढूंढता है वो ही है तू वही है। तुझ में तेरा रास्ता है, तुझ में तेरा है सहारा, तू ही तुझको पार लेगा, तू ही है तेरा किनारा। रास्ता है, तुझ में तेरा है सहारा, तू ही तुझको पार लेगा, तू ही है तेरा किनारा। जिसे ढूंढता है तू ही रे, तू ही रे, तू ही रे तेरा मसीहा हो।
So I see many being a little bit goes and starts pushing the tree and getting all the agencies together and no, I wasn't muted. There we go. Did you hear everything I just said? You did. And my microphone it said my microphone wasn't working, so I had to unplug. I had an external mic. Did you hear everything I said about the video? No. I can't even hear. Okay. So what I was saying is I really feel like this group is like that little boy who gets out there and, we've got some big obstacles like COVID, things that just seem impossible. And we get out there and it just takes people being positive and putting their resources to work to actually solve big problems. And so that's why we get together every month. And I really appreciate each one of you. And I was saying in the video, I don't know that all those people could have actually lifted that tree. I mean, I was thinking somebody had to have like a bulldozer or a crowbar or something, but some kind of lever. But the idea, still part of the group. The idea that a lot of people just like to sit around and complain and criticize. And I just love this group because you roll up your sleeves and you get stuff done and you put good resources into people's hands. So I thank you again for being here this morning. And I'm just going to go ahead and go by the order on my screen, and we'll just call on everybody to introduce themselves and let me know if you have any announcements. I am Ann Stapleton. My husband Mark is here with me today. He's done with his contract at the post office, and he's now got a couple applications in for other jobs around somewhere in the nearby area. So we're excited to see what God opens up for him. I do want, before we go around, I want to mention Pastor Jeff called yesterday, Pastor Jeff Leto from the First Baptist Church. And many of you know that he had stage 2B pancreatic cancer. And he found out yesterday from the surgeon, the oncologist and the surgeon worked together, and they found out that his tumor inside his pancreas is operable. So that, my friends, is good news because it's not wrapped around any major blood vessels or so they have to do 6 months of chemo. So this morning, as we're sitting here, he's in getting a stent put in so that he can start chemo. And not a stent, what's it called? A shunt. No, not a shunt. Maybe it is a stent. No, there's another word for it. What is it? A port. Yes. Port. So that he can start chemo, 6 months of chemo. Then they determine if he's healthy enough for surgery. Then he gets surgery. And then 6 more months of chemo. So he's in a battle and he's pushing against that big tree. So if y'all would just pray for him, keep him in your thoughts, and so he knows you, he feels your support. I will just say that when we gathered for the Lemon Grove but the Good Friday service, the pastors that gathered there just all lifted him up in prayer. And I know you are doing that in your private life too. So thank you so much. And he does send his regards and misses you all very much. So let me start. Oh, I've got Shanna. She's in my first square, most of my Hollywood squares. So if you want to, and you're off hold. You're on hold with IT, I guess. So
yes, thank God, finally.
I'm glad you're done. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let me know if you have any announcements.
I'm Shanna Clevenger. I'm the crime prevention specialist with the Lemon Grove Sheriff Station, and I just have 2 brief things later.
Great. Thank you, Shanna. Next, I have Mike.
Good morning. I'm Michael Avish with Baha'i Faith, and just a real quick announcement on June 13th, that's the second Sunday in June, we will be hosting our 3rd annual Race Amity Day program in Lemon Grove. We're not sure this year if it'll be online or if somewhere physical, but we're June 13th and we're starting to make some plans. So,
Awesome.
And also,
yes.
Can you get us, is there a physical address if we wanted to mail a card to Jeff?
Oh, yes. Mark can put that in the chat room. Great.
Okay,
yeah, thank you for asking that. Dean, I have you up next.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dean Amber Senior with Institute for Public Strategies, and I do have 2 announcements.
Great. Thanks, Dean. Good morning. Billy, you're up next.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Billy Simmons from North Park Apostolic Church, and I just wanted to say I enjoyed the event for Good Friday because it was just so many beautiful people there. and everyone had the right heart and were focused on the right things. So I really enjoyed being a part of it.
Thank you, Billy. It was great hearing you speak. Billy got to speak at the Good Friday service, so that was really excellent. It was nice seeing everybody's faces again in person.
Mhm.
And we can give an update on that a little bit later. I was trying to find the photos that my husband took on his phone. So Sarah, you're up next on my screen.
I'm Sarah Lewis from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I actually just got caught calling to work with the youth. So I'm working with the youth, including my own daughters, which is fun most of the time. And I can share some information about the Historical Society, kind of what we have going on, and Roberta also, so we can both talk about that later.
Great. Okay. I will come back to you. Great. Thank you, Mike. Oh, the other Mike. Sorry, Mike James.
Hi, good morning. Mike James with the City of Lemon Grove. I just have a couple things that I can touch on at the end of the meeting.
Perfect. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Roberta, you're up next on my screen. You're muted though. Sorry, I muted everybody during the video.
Yes, I'm Roberta Bowling from Baha'i Faith Community and also Lemon Grove Historical Society. And yeah, well, just a couple of quick things later.
Okay, I'll call on both you and Sarah at the same time. Welcome. It's good to see you, Roberta. All right, Monique. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Monique Myers. I'm a community partnership prosecutor at the San Diego District Attorney's Office. I have two brief announcements, but I do have to log off early at 10. So
Okay.
I'm going to send you, Anne, the flyers for what I'm going to talk about, just in case I don't get to it. They're pretty self-explanatory. You can just forward them. And I think
Okay.
I did last time, but it was way in advance. And so I'm going to talk about it again.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was going to send out yours with all the updates. I did get that flyer. I'll put you at the top so that since you have to go, we'll have you go first. Okay, next up, Joyce in Hawaii or wherever you are. Nice Zoom background. Do you want to unmute and introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Joyce Moore. I am a Lemon Grove resident of 30 plus years and excited about that. And I'm the president of Thrive Lemon Grove, and I'm excited about that. Where great things are happening. And my husband's a pastor, and we pastor in actually El Cajon now, but we support Lemon Grove.
Excellent. It's great to have you, Joyce.
Yeah.
Good stuff going on from Thrive. Are you going to have an announcement later?
Not this time, just the Lemon Grove food distribution. If Jennifer's not on here, I don't see her.
I don't see her either.
That's about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see. What else do I have? Galaxy Tab A. Who's that? Not sure who that is. And V Hidalgo.
Hi, my name is Vivian Hidalgo. I am a graduate student worker for the County of San Diego with the Health Promotion Team for East and North Central regions. I don't have any announcements, but I work under Zach, so if you guys would like me to relay any message, I can do that.
Great, thank you, Vivian. Yes, so can I ask you a question, Vivian? Do you know, I know that Zach has been sending out reminders about the faith-based organization county updates on COVID on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a cancellation notice. Does that mean there isn't one on the 3rd of this month?
This following week, I will ask him because
Okay.
I don't know.
I couldn't tell if it was just a calendar mix up or if it was actually canceled. Because
I got the notification as well.
Okay.
I'll check up and ask him.
Yeah, maybe just clarification. That'd be great.
Of course.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll put a flyer up for that because that's really, really helpful. Those updates. I went to the one last month, or the beginning of the month. Okay, who else do we have? Does anybody want to claim Galaxy Tab A? Who that might be? Anybody going once, going twice?
461.
And I think the 461 is Susan. Do you want to unmute and introduce yourself, Susan?
Yes, good morning. Susan Farnsworth, representing Lemon Grove United Methodist Church.
Welcome, Susan.
Thank you.
So whoever's on Galaxy, on their Galaxy phone, if you want to unmute it at some point and introduce yourself, feel free. I thought we had Tony right on there for a second. So somebody else is logging in. Yeah, so Roni Galat. Hi, Ronnie, welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us what organization you're from? I don't know if you can see us. Oh, I guess we'll wrap back around once his audio gets connected. Okay, so let me go ahead and go. Do you want to share your screen, Monique? I can have you go first if you want. I think I have it unrestricted, so you should be able to share if you need to. You're muted though.
It's like it's my first time. I wasn't planning on sharing my screen, but I can.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's easier if I just talk about it, and if you could forward the email that I sent, that might be
perfect. I can totally do that. Yep.
I talked about this last time, but it's happening next week, and so I'm going to bring it up again. There are 2 events that are happening next week that are pretty interesting. One of them is a Spanish-only presentation of conference, specifically on alcohol prevention, and it's virtual. Normally, it's in Encinitas, and there's a big crowd that shows up. But I'm quite excited that it's virtual because I'm hoping that will allow people from all over the county who otherwise wouldn't trek up to Encinitas midweek after work will be able to attend. And they're going to be talking about basically from all perspectives. The DA's office is going to be talking about fentanyl. The DEA is going to be talking about vaping and marijuana. The sheriff's department is going to be talking about what they're seeing on the street right now. It's really going to be a direct way of engaging on these topics of drug and alcohol prevention. And it's free. You don't have to register in advance. The flyer has the Zoom information. So people don't have to do anything but show up. And it's 100% in Spanish without interpreters. So it's straight up in Spanish. And that's really unique to this kind of thing. And that's next week on Tuesday. On Thursday, at lunch, there's a internet safety presentation targeting parents. It's not only for parents, but targeting parents on really how to navigate those landmines as it relates to social media and things like that to protect your kids from being recruited for human trafficking. And so that's another opportunity. It's also free. I'm organizing that specifically as part of Lawyers Club and the Human Trafficking Collaborative. There will be resources provided afterwards that give you tips and tricks for like specific social media sites, right? How do you change the privacy settings on insert social media site here? And so that should be really helpful for parents who maybe aren't so familiar with that site, but can navigate that resource. So both of those events are free. They're next week. The one on Tuesday is the drug prevention one in the evening, 6 to 8:30. And then the internet safety one is on Thursday. It's 12 to 1. The doors open. The virtual doors open at 11:30, but the meat and potatoes of the show is from 12 to 1. And we hope you share that with your congregants. Thank you.
Great. Those are great resources. Thank you, Monique. And I will send out those flyers that she sends to me. Ronnie, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, which organization you're from?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Captain Onijilo. I'm from ICPU, the International Chaplain in San Diego. I'm pleased to join you today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right, so I think I'll go toward the end with the photos of the Good Friday service. So I'll give that update later. I'll just start at the top and go with Shanna. Do you want to go ahead and go next?
There I am. Hi. Okay, so just a couple of things. We have a new lieutenant here. I don't know if any of you have had the pleasure of meeting him. He is currently out of the office this week on training, but his name is Patrick McAvoy, and he normally would be attending the meeting with me. So definitely next month he will be here. And he comes from he's been on the department for many years. We worked patrol together 20 years ago, and he's gone on to now become a lieutenant. So we're excited to have him here.
Where did Mike Rand go?
He went to
another post. Oh, internal affairs. Great. Huh.
And I'm excited to announce, Roberta is aware of this as well. We have started to open up night neighborhood watch meetings. So for anyone who is interested, please feel free to give me a call. I'll put it in the chat, my phone number and my email address. So yeah, if you have currently it's 50 people or smaller in outdoor groups. And as long as we safe distance, bring a lawn chair and sit in the front yard or in a cul-de-sac. Or if you have a day room, possibly if you live in a place where there's an HOA and they have a day room, I'll be happy to set one of those up. I have 2 scheduled, and Roberta and I will be doing one in June, hopefully. So looking forward to getting back to that. And lastly, our volunteer patrol is back. We're so excited. I'm sure they were sad to be off as long as they were. Those people work hard and were getting frustrated sitting at home, and they're happy to be back. So if you do have any elderly neighbors or family members that need to be checked on, please feel free to come down to the station and put in an application for a YANA check, and that's You Are Not Alone. And what they do is they either, at their discretion, whichever they prefer, either a phone call every day to check on them, or they will stop by the house and check on them. And if anything seems suspicious, newspapers piling up on the front door, or you're not answering, they'll alert a deputy to come check on them.
That's great.
So that's all I have.
Jenna, can you put your phone number in the chat room? Just if people want to start a neighborhood watch, they could just give you a call.
Yes.
And we will welcome the new lieutenant next month. Hopefully he'll be able to join us and we can meet him. That's great.
Yes.
Let's see, the next up, I think I had Mike. Yeah, Mike Lavash, you have an announcement, right?
No, I just mentioned Race Amity Day coming up in June.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, so do you want to tell people what Race Amity Day is, just so in case they don't know?
Yeah, it's actually began about 100 years ago when the son of the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith came to America, and he saw the importance of finding unity among the races. And back in 1912, when he was here, he saw that there, segregation and all the issues of racism back then. And so that was really the first Race Amity conference was while he was in America. And so we've been doing it kind of off and on in different areas around the United States, but this will be our 3rd annual in Lemon Grove. And amity means friendship. And it is focused on the idea that we're all brothers and sisters, we're children of the same father, and we need to be friends, and we need to help each other and care for each other. So this is an opportunity to look historically at individuals who have really worked together, crossing the color line to help each other and really show their true friendship and love for each other. So this will be coming up in June, and our 3rd annual, and I hope you'll all want to be part of it.
That's awesome. I like that. And I think we were part of the event last time, and maybe it was 2 years ago, but it was a great event. Very good. Thank you for doing that. It's important. Very important right now. Dean, you're up with your 2 announcements.
I am. Thank you, Ann. First off, I don't know if David announced last month, but the grant for the Overdose Status Action Program has been increased and extended for another year, which is exciting, but unfortunately necessary. And due to the fact that we have the fentanyl program or problem that is growing exponentially. And the statistics for this year, folks, are shocking. The ones that Monique was kind enough to give to me have been validated mostly by the medical examiner's office. But what's shocking is that this year alone, we're already in line to blow that off the map. And as a result of that, I need to get that information out there. I have a variety of presentations geared for every audience, parents, kids, interested community members, educators available. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat. It's really important to get that information out there. We are allowed to facilitate Narcan distribution. We don't do it directly, but we can co-present with someone who can train on the use of that product and the ease to get it. If you run a facility such as a church where there may be drop-ins from, people looking for help, it's important to have that product there, and we're working very hard to get it out there to everyone. So if you haven't done that, please take the time to do it. Reach out and contact me. I'll be glad to help you get connected with that. Institutions can get a standing order for Narcan, so it's very simple to get through the state. It's very simple to use, and it can save a life. In addition to that, Prescription Drug Take-Back Day is the 24th, next Saturday. So now's the time to clean out the medicine cabinet. It doesn't seem like it feeds into the fentanyl issue, but this is not the time for a kid to pick up a prescription drug problem. It often leads to purchasing them on the street, which is in most cases lately fatal, unfortunately. And a lot of the younger kids are getting caught up in this. I'm hearing 1 to 2 stories a month from people who know someone under the age of 25 who unfortunately overdosed without really knowing what they were buying. So there's never a better time to get parents to talk to kids about drugs. I mean, and do it in such a way that they're not, turned off by the message. We really need to get it out there. So part of what I'm putting together right now is some tools to help parents have that conversation and not, create the unintended consequences of, getting them to roll their eyes and disregard it, but really get that out there and let them know how important it is. And I hope to have those toolkits available shortly, at least by the 1st of May. So anyway, I've spoken long enough, but I will put my contact information in the chat, and I'll also drop a flyer for Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. So go in there, clean out that medicine cabinet, drop it off. It's easy. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Dean. Has anybody here been impacted by the terrible rise of fentanyl use in the community during this COVID time? Anybody? I know I've read articles about it, and we had a young lady come to us who was in the news a number of years ago. She came and visited our church for a while, and her baby had ingested a pill and died, and so she went to jail for it. And the father of the baby who passed is still in jail. He's in prison. Yeah, it's a serious thing. People don't, especially the young kids, and they're bored, and yeah, so it's important. I take advantage of Dean's presentation if you can, because I think it's really important that we get the word out. Yeah, Billy, do you want to say
the things that I learned? My son is homeless and on the streets in downtown San Diego.
So sorry.
And one of his buddies died of fentanyl poisoning last week. And he will not admit whether or not he is doing it or not, but I'd like to be prepared just in case that happens. And, he's visiting us. So I'd like some information on how to get the, was it an antidote? Yeah.
Yes. Billy, I'll put my email in the chat. I'm just about to do that. Please reach out to me. It's so easy to get and so easy to use. I mean, it really, really is. And yes, it is important for that reason. I also wanted to add to that I have some postcard-sized flyers that I'd like to share with all of you. I can distribute those by the end of the month. And if you could just put them in your public information area so that people can get, we have them in English, Spanish, Tagalog, and soon to be in Arabic and Farsi, but we're working on the translation for that as well. So they're geared toward a variety of audiences. They're 2-sided postcards with the warning information. So I'll get some contact information from Anne, and either David and I will drop those off at different churches. So it's important information. And thank you, Billy, for sharing that information. Please do reach out.
Yeah, if you have a information area, maybe drop it in the chat or whatever, and you can get your address to Dean, and maybe he and David can get those out to everybody. Thank you, Dean. Appreciate good work. Let's see who was up next on my list. Sarah and Roberta, tell us about the Historical Society.
Roberta, why don't you go first and talk about the essay contest?
Oh, we have an annual third grade essay contest, and it was established by one of the founding mothers of our town, Amarita Treganza. She was an optometrist here in town, and her family is just a wonderful family. The city council voted to change the name of Civic Center Park to Treganza Heritage Park, and it's quite fitting. So this essay contest is so much fun. We give presentations in the schools. This year we did it virtually, so the children can be prepared. And the teachers have the book Todos Iguales, All Equal. So they have been reading that to the children. So the children are much more prepared to discuss Lemon Grove history. So we had 107 essays come in, and Sarah and our committee of 6 people adjudicated them a couple weeks ago. And we have our winners, and they're going to be announced at the city council meeting on the 20th of April. It's so exciting. We have gifts for the children and the teachers. And it's just it's very gratifying to work with the children. They're so curious, and they ask such good questions. It's been lots of fun.
Are the winning essays going to be posted anywhere where community members can
what we do
read them?
is I'm going to have Sarah talk about the gala we're having in October. I'm going to let her do that, and she can tell you what we have some plans for the children. She can share it with you now. Thank you.
Thanks, Roberta.
We had planned to do a big sign park unveiling last year for the new Treganza Heritage Park signs and celebrate the Treganza family history of our community, which is great. We put it off, and finally we have a date in October, October 8th and 9th. We're gonna kind of have like a gala and a fundraiser and kind of make it a big deal. Friday night, October 8th, we're going to have a History Alive lecture about the Treganza family, which is going to be fabulous. And then the next Saturday morning, we're planning on having a program, and the kids are going to come and hopefully dress in a time they've learned a lot about the history. They're going to dress in a different time of Lemon Grove history, hopefully. And we're going to honor the winners then in October for this contest. That'll be a few months later. And I think we're going to have at least the first one read their essay and maybe some others. So they'll be sharing some other essays then. Another thing about this is we're planning on having like a program in the morning to unveil some speakers. And then when that's over, we're going to have kind of an open house in the park, an open house of the Lee House. We wanted to invite any community organizations to have a table at that. If we want to have a clergy association table, or if Thrive or any specific church wants to have a table, we're inviting anyone who would like to. We probably can provide, an extension cord. We're not sure yet, but it's going to be like maybe noon to 3 on that day. The Lee House will be open. We're going to have some of our archives out. So we're hoping to have kind of an open house. And then that evening, there'll be a ticketed event with like cocktails and dinner and auction and a big fundraiser that night. So if you want to do that, that's going to be fabulous. I'm really excited about that. If you're having donations, I'm also taking donations for the auction. So that's kind of we're hoping to really get people back meeting together. We're thinking October is going to be a safe time. So really excited about that. If you have any questions, ask me. We're going to start History Alive in July, our History Alive, which is our monthly free lecture program. It's usually the first Thursday. I think we're going to have it the second Thursday in July. More information is coming. People are really excited about getting back and doing that. So we're excited about that. And if you're interested in becoming a member, I'm the membership coordinator, and we need members. And the museum is open. The museum is consistently open now, I think 11 to 1 or 11 to 2. The museum is beautiful. If you haven't ever been to the Parsonage Museum, it's like kind of a hidden treasure of Lemon Grove. And also just FYI, if you have any events, people are really excited to have weddings and kind of events they've been putting off. The Lee House is just an amazing event space that we do rent out, the Lee House. If you haven't seen the back gazebo, it's just amazing. It's a beautiful space. It has beautiful lights for evening events. So if you're interested in an event right here in your neighborhood, that's the best event space, I think. So anyway, if you have any questions about that, did I miss anything, Roberta? Okay, I think that's it.
Thumbs up, okay. So
Thank
just
you.
to clarify, that event with the fundraiser for the Treganza Heritage or in the contest winners, that's in October, right? October 8th?
Yeah, October. It's the second week in October, 8th and 9th. So there's
okay.
like a Friday night history alive, Saturday morning program, Saturday afternoon open house, and then a Saturday evening gala. So it's kind of like we're going to put a whole bunch of events, kind of a special weekend. And we actually have hopefully quite a few Treganza descendants going to be in attendance. So people are going to be coming in from out of town that are related to the Treganzas. So that's pretty exciting.
Great. It's great to think about October and gathering in a park together. That'll be great.
We're going to have the old cars.
Oh, and old cars. Oh, the classic cars.
The classic cars, yeah.
Those are great. And if you want to rent that space that Sarah's talking about, just go to the city website. I think they've got the prices on there and the contact info. Mark's done a wedding back there. It's really beautiful. And if
you can call the Historical Society phone number and leave a message. If you rent it from the city, if you rent just the courtyard, the city does it. If you're in the Lee House and the courtyard, we do it. So we kind of
cool. Okay.
Yeah, we have a co-ownership of that space. So if it's just outside, you talk to the city. If it's both, you talk to us. And you can leave a message on our line, our phone number line, and Laura Hook, our president, gets right back with you.
That's great. I did not know that. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, I think Mike, James, you're up next. Tell us about the city. What's going on?
Hi, good morning. So we have a very busy month going on. Of course, we had a council meeting earlier this month, and we just had our housing element workshop. That was last night. And
how did that go?
It went very well. We had an initial presentation by Noah Alvey, who's our community development manager. And then we went, kind of took a quick dive into the statistical significance of the survey that was prepared, and then presented that information to the city council, and then kind of wrapped it up with the discussion of what are our next steps and what is the timeline, when are we going to submit our plan to the state, and then we have to wait for the state to come back and tell us, yes, is it good enough, or no, it's not. And just for everybody's knowledge, is the plan that we have to account for in the next cycle, the 7th cycle of the RHNA, the Regional Housing Needs Assessment, has to account for, I know is going to not be happy if I don't remember the number, and I don't. It's like 1,359 new dwelling units over that 7-year period. But again, this is the plan. This doesn't mean we're going to do it, but we have to at least come up with a plan with our current zoning in place. And that's an important piece, to where we're not looking at doing any rezoning, spot zoning, or anything like that. It's more of, with what we have now, can we accommodate the number? And we feel pretty confident. Staff feels very confident, and presented that information to the city council. City council asked some good questions, and then in the end directed staff to move forward with the process to submit it, and then it'll eventually come back after the state provides those comments. So that was a workshop last night. We will have our council meeting next week, and so we're very excited to have little kiddos. I wish we could do it in person, but I'll touch on that in a little bit. But we'll make the best of it, and it's always one of my favorite things, just to have the little kids and teachers come up and be recognized for their hard work at such a young age, because I know I wasn't that productive at that young age. And then lastly, at the end of the month, and I think it's the 26th or 27th, it's the last Tuesday of the month, we'll be having another workshop. So April is typically our, council's working hard month as we're building the budget. But the last workshop that we have scheduled for this month is going to talk about our capital improvement program. So the first year in many years, in fact, I probably have only actually put together or seen a 5-year CIP, so a 5-year capital improvement program, maybe once or twice during the last 14 years or 15 years since I've been with the city. So this is going to be very exciting, because it's going to outline all the projects that we kind of have on paper that the council has directed us to move forward with, and we're going to outline that over a 5-year period. It's significant because it's also going to include the projects that we don't have funding for. So it's going to have the unfunded projects. And what that does, I think it just helps educate the residents, businesses, and guests of, we know about certain issues, we know about problems, we kind of have a rough concept, but we don't have the money. So it's there, it's programmed, and it helps us, staff, when council goes, yes, this is the plan we want to move forward with, then we can start chasing grant funds, we can start chasing other monies, and we can try and make those projects come forward. So that's going to be a very exciting workshop. I say exciting because capital improvement is kind of in my wheelhouse.
Is that open to everybody?
It is open, yeah. It'll be an
Okay.
open workshop, open discussion. And our workshops aren't as, shall I say, formal, I guess.
Okay.
You can submit, well, and right now we're trying to figure out if we can go back, and actually that's probably a good segue into the next topic. We're trying to figure out if we can accommodate in-person council meetings. And so the senior management team here at the city, we're kind of walking through those steps right now. And if you haven't heard, City of El Cajon had their meeting was in person or in their council chambers. And so they had to obviously socially distance everything. But they have a much bigger chamber than we do. So we're already starting the ball because I think, but I think generally speaking, the public, the council, really everybody wants to get back to that normalcy pre-COVID. And so we recognize that and we're trying to do our best, but all the while still maintaining, okay, we're in the orange tier. That doesn't mean we let up. You know, you should still adhere to the precautions that are in place, social distance. If you do meet outside, and wear your mask. And then obviously I think everybody's aware of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and the process that they're going through right now. And so the county has pulled back. I think everybody has generally pulled back from administering Johnson & Johnson due to the
concerns,
the concerns and what has happened most recently. And so I think it's just a matter of we're still continuing forward. We're still administering vaccines Sunday through Thursday at the community center. I think it's 9:30 to 3:30, but go to the county website to be able to schedule those appointments. They're walk up, not drive up, but I believe you do have to have an appointment. So make sure you do that online. And then as we start getting into city services, facility rentals, I think those are starting to come back as Sarah and Roberta brought up, you know, with our gazebo by the Lee House. But we're also looking at how we can start implementing perhaps our gazebo rentals and our facility rentals at the bigger locations in the city and be able to do that safely and be able to manage that process. And then last but not least is our homeless outreach. So we just had another, our homeless outreach team just went out yesterday, and we're starting to see some progress. We're about a quarter in, so we're about 3 months in. Since September, we've made about a little over 200 individual contacts with those that are experiencing homelessness, unsheltered individuals out in the field. Now, I think of that, we don't have a good number yet. And what we're trying to do is tweak that 200 and trying to bring that down to, okay, well, how many of it are chronic Lemon Grove homeless? And I think that number is probably 40-ish, 40 to 50, okay. I think is my best guess at this time. So in partnership with Home Start, and we're also working with the County of San Diego, we're trying to kind of scrub all of our data together to go, okay, well, we contacted John Doe and he was here in Lemon Grove, but he spends most of his time in La Mesa. So we're trying to figure that out. So we're not over counting, double counting, and then to figure out, well, what is our number? And then at that point, that gives staff the ability to start setting up variables. Because right now we're seeing a lot more, we should be seeing a lot more folks that are going to be able to, we're going to get into housing. We're going to get into hotel vouchers. We're going to get into rapidly rehoused and eventually get them off the street. So I think we're probably about that first quarter where we should start seeing those success stories come into play. Because I think everybody knows it's just a matter of time. It takes a lot of time to be able to make those contacts in the field, to build the trust, build a rapport. And we are working on another part of this is not just because we have partnering with the County of San Diego, administered vaccines to our unsheltered folks. But we're also trying to partner to try and bring on a little more kind of minor EMT, emergency medical technician field work where, you know, a lot of times you're going to have cuts that just have to be cleaned, and Band-Aids, gauze. So we're trying to partner with another entity to help us with that. So our homeless outreach team kind of gets a little more robust and we'll be able to provide those services out in the field. So so we are making consistent progress, and eventually, and I see Councilmember Mendoza's on, eventually we will have a more formal report that'll go back to council. And at that point, then we'll kind of take all that data and the process and be able to include that within the formal presentation. But I think I covered a lot of things. I covered a lot more and spoke a lot more than I thought I was going to, but that always happens. So
Roberta has a question for you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Roberta has a question.
Mr. James, what's the fellow's name that was hired to do this from Monday through Wednesday? Who works part-time for the city?
Sure. So Nader was our street outreach worker for Home Start. He coincidentally has left Home Start and started work with the County of San Diego. So he went in a different direction, but we do have another outreach a worker that's already been assigned and she's already stepped in. First name's Rosa. I don't remember her last name, but I can look it up real quick. But she's always here at the city, and she really, it's been a seamless process for her to take over the work that Nader was performing for the city. Rosa Reed, R-E-A-D is her last name.
So her contact information would be on the city website then?
No, it wouldn't. We have her cards here, but Roberto, I can get that information or contact information to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because she is our point person that we have, not just for our bi-weekly programs that go out with the assistance of the Sheriff's Department, and then also the county will attend those outreach, not events, but outreach projects. But then she's also the individual that's here almost every day, and then she's making the consistent outreach.
And is she bilingual by any chance?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike, question with Rosa, is she the one we would reach out to if we maybe see somebody that's chronically unsheltered and they're in an area, like we have a gal that's up on the street corner of Kempf or Skyline and Palm. She's been there for like 2 weeks, and she's got all of her stuff strewn out there, and I just don't know who to call to help her.
I know her. I know her name and I know her background. Yes. So yes, we have contacted her and we're going to consistently
working with her.
Get out there. Yeah. But any of those things you can send to me.
Send to you. Okay, great.
Yeah. So, and it's really just like that. It's, if you know the person's name, you don't have to, but a general description and location. And if you can, like times. So sometimes they will move around. I know in her case, she's planted. She usually stays put. But for other folks, they have their routine, their daily routine that they go through. So if there's a date time that you see them at a certain location, send that to me, because chances are we've made contact with them before.
Yeah, I figured that might be the case, but good. That's awesome. I love that the city has some funds now to really pay attention to this matter. I mean, each of those lives are important, and sometimes we individuals don't have all the resources to really help them, and we don't know the history. So it's really great to have that concerted effort. And can I ask two more questions? One, are you still accepting help or supplies for making those?
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. They yelled at me, or nobody yelled at me, but they said, hey, don't call them goodie bags. So I affiliated them with they're not goodie bags. They're kind of care packages, I guess, if you will.
Care packages, that's a good word. Hygiene pads.
So, hygiene kits, yeah. So face coverings, gloves, sanitizer, soap, shampoo, toothbrush, toothpaste, and then non-perishable items, crackers, something that's in a
granola bar.
Yeah, granola bars are great. Small waters. And I think that's been a wonderful, wonderful help for us, because we'll package those. And then when we go out for our outreach events, Home Start will literally grab them and then they take them with them when they head out in the field.
So if somebody wants
here.
Okay, so somebody do you have a list that you can send?
Yeah.
Maybe you've already sent it to me. I don't know. Yeah, post it. And then if your organization wants to buy a case of water and get the soft granola bars, by the way, because the hard ones, if they don't have teeth, all their teeth are really hard to eat, but those Nutri-Grain bars are great. What else? Toothpaste. You'll send a list. And if your group wants to donate to the city to help, it's just a great way to get all the resources in one place and be able to be handed out that way. My other question, Mike, is city council meetings. By the way, everybody, if you can't make it to the city council meetings, which happen on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of the month, if you can't get on, well, right now they're on Zoom and the link is on the city website. But if you can't make it, they are recorded and you can go back. I usually go back and listen to them when I can't make it. So my question is, when you go back in person, will they also keep Zooming for those who don't feel safe? Will they do like a hybrid kind of a thing? So they'll still be
I don't know.
streamable? You
And
don't know.
yeah, that's going to be that's kind of the challenge that we're looking at now. How do we integrate what we've been doing
right
to what we used to do? Because I think there is a lot of value, right? Because folks, I mean, there's times where we have more contact, we have more participation because it's more convenient for people to Zoom in. It's easier,
absolutely,
right?
Oh yeah.
And so now we have to, that's part of the kind of the mental crunch that we're doing right now to figure out, well, one, let's see, how do we get back into in-person? And then two, how do we integrate what we've been doing the past year into that if there's a way?
Excellent. Yeah, that'd be great to see what we can do. I know most churches are in the same boat, trying to do the hybrid model in person plus still helping people to connect online as well. So
yeah, it's definitely a challenge, and I think it's just to dive in a little bit more into that. It's hard from a staffing perspective for us to manage that, because once we go in person, staff has their positions.
Right.
We don't necessarily have another person that could manage the online or the Zoom aspect, and then also integrate it into the actual meeting. So, but yeah, we're definitely
thinking
exploring
about it.
All the options.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you just listen to it afterwards, and listen to the recording, which is great to have those. So excellent. Well, thank you for all that great information. Next up, I have Joyce. Just you want to talk about the food drive and give us an update on that? Have you been giving away all the food? Have you had 200 people you usually serve once a month?
I see Jennifer is on here, so I'm going to defer to her with that. I see she's here, but I have just a couple of things that I would like to share. And about our community garden. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Doing some awesome things, making it work during COVID. So we have started garden chats with Coco, and Coco is a very influential and a prominent person because she works a lot with the Fireside Council, and she has a ranch, and she's a master gardener. And so she's been coming on. We have her on every other month, and I just want to get that out to you if you're gardening or thinking of gardening. So she offers a lot of good information. Also, we had last month, we did a community, a workshop. We did it in the garden, and we did it on Zoom. So we were there. It was really interesting. And it was on growing potatoes. One of the other master gardeners, Amy, works for the county. It was on growing potatoes in a bag. And I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but I do have the video if you guys would like to have it. So very, very interesting how you can grow potatoes in a bag. And these are growing bags. They're black and they're sizable. So we have that going on in the garden now as well. Also, I just want to share too that last month the mayor was selected as a hometown hero. Somebody nominated her, and 92.5 picked that up. She did a really great interview. With that came a gift certificate of $100. And so she donated that gift certificate to Thrive for the food distribution. And she also shared with them that she was going to match that. Well, of course, she overmatched that. And so we were just really excited to be there at City Hall to receive their gift certificate and then her matching of the gift certificate. Her matching, yeah, she overmatched it. So I'm just really grateful and thankful some of you here have donated to the food distribution. And I would like to say, I think it's going quite well. And I think Jennifer is really pleased. And so I'm here I'm her left arm. I just want to make sure she doesn't overwork herself. So I want you guys to help me with that.
Will do.
Because Jennifer is a worker bee, and she not only does this, she's the lead. This is really her project. We just came along to support her and be the physical agent and get as much money as we possibly can to help support that. But she also does the food distribution at St. John's of the Cross. So as many hands can get, I think that would be great. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Joyce. Yeah, we plan to be there Friday to help pack food. So look forward to seeing you there. Excellent. And the gardening, that's all good. I think that was our last announcement. If I'm correct, I'm going to show the pictures from the Good Friday. So as many of you know, this group, Clergy Association, kind of began with the the Good Friday crosswalk and Good Friday service. And it's kind of how we began. And then we reached out and started getting more involved in all the workings of the city. And so we didn't do anything last year because of course COVID had just hit and we just canceled everything. But this year, Pastor Brian, who's been meeting in Berry Street Park, offered to set up all his equipment, which is quite amazing. Like it's quite an elaborate system. And we had our Good Friday service. So we didn't do the crosswalk where we carry across through the city, but we did socially distance, wear masks, and we got to be outside. It was a beautiful day, beautiful evening. We met at 6 o'clock and we had 7 clergy from the city speak. It was wonderful. We had good representation. Billy's on here. She spoke and it was really excellent. So I'm gonna just go ahead and share my file folder. I have not edited these photos, so it's just whatever, you know, maybe we took a picture of our shoe or something, but let's see if I can try that again. Stop share. Oh, summer videos. Okay, yeah. So I might just, I'll zip through the videos. Let's see if I can do this better. All right. And I just want to thank those of you who did participate and make it a really great event. I did the music. So let's see. So this is a group of the speakers that praying ahead of time. And you can see that, yeah. So this is from the back. So you can see people were, most people were wearing masks. I think I just saw a couple of people without, but we were also pretty distant. The way that park is set up, it's really works well for social distancing. That's Clarice Christian from the See Christ bookstore in Lemon Grove. And yeah, this is Berry Street Park. See how far that is? I mean, it's just naturally socially distanced, which is really great. And Engage, you know, they bring a generator and they power all this stuff up, and they also live streamed it. This is Dr. Crescencio, or not Dr. Crescencio Diaz, and he's from a church that meets at the Methodist Church. So Susan, you might recognize. Oh, Susan won't be able to see these, but there's Billy speaking. It's great. We had people walking by, riding their bikes by, and there's George Runyon from San Diego City Church Ministries. I'm trying to click. It's not working. There we go. Yeah, these are probably videos. My husband did some great videos from here. Keep going. There's Pastor Mike from Foursquare. And he finished us off with the final word. Into your hands I commit my spirit. So anyway, it was a really good event. And let me see. We were really grateful to have that in-person contact safely. And yeah, we had about 75 people and about 15 kids on the playground. Yeah, that was the people that were sitting there in the service. So anyway, it was a really good service, and I'm really grateful for this group and working together. Oh, one thing that Pastor Brian instituted this year that we had never done before, and he offered communion. And taking communion, it was really great the way he said that, you know, he said, we are the Church of Lemon Grove, meaning the walls don't have to be there between all the denominations. We all link arms together to serve the city. So I really loved that, the unity that was displayed. So If there are there any other announcements that maybe somebody thought of, or?
Yes, I spoke with Zach and he told me that the telebriefing is not canceled. We're just transitioning into the webinar setting of Zoom. So he will be sending out another invite, but I posted it in the group, in the chat, just in case.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you,
welcome.
Vivian. Yes, that debriefing was is the first one I had gone to, and it was really helpful to know what the county is encouraging and the guidance that they're giving to churches, faith-based organizations on, whether we should be singing inside, which I found out we're not supposed to be, but I know a lot of churches are, but they give us really good guidance on how to be safe. And I know that they feel responsible for the welfare of people. So they're trying to be as safe as possible. So if you want to attend that, it's just an online thing. It's going to be in a webinar format next time, where you won't be able to see all these little boxes. It'll just be one speaker. But we'll go ahead and send that out.
Our church did start singing inside last Sunday with masks on, and we were told because we're in the orange tier, it's allowed. We're still distancing and wearing masks and singing. So that's the word that we got from the region. So I hope that's correct. Yeah. But we did just in the orange tier, we started singing inside with masks on.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think it's like nobody's going to enforce it, but according, as of 2 days ago, they're still not recommending singing inside, even with masks. They're recommending outside with masks. So I know that's the extra careful, cautious guidance. And a lot of people are, but inside with masks is better than without. I'll just say that, so that's according to the San Diego County. So, and I can send out those notes, and there's a link of the recording of that last debriefing if you want to, telebriefing, if you want to see it, I can send that out for all of you. Any other announcements or follow-up questions?
And Jennifer is here. She might want to talk more about the food distribution.
Yeah, Jennifer, is there anything you want to say?
Oh, yeah, I'll just make it real quick.
Okay.
You asked about numbers, and we're up around about 125, and so we're ordering food accordingly, and and then any food that we have left over, perishable food we can save, but then non-perishable food we're taking to other food distributions so that it can be given out right away and the food's not tossed out or destroyed. So and again, I'm just going to throw it out there. If anybody can help, Friday night we'll be at the Recreation Center at 6 p.m. packing the food, and then Saturday morning we start setting up at 8 a.m. and food distribution starts at 9, and we give it out until it's gone. So we could use help, even if you can just come for an hour or 30 minutes, we can definitely use your help. And I'm glad to hear Anne is going to be there, because John, my husband thinks that he calls you, yeah, that lady from your church group that brings her husband and her kid and her friend, and where was she? I go, oh, she'll be there again.
Out of town, yeah.
I have to remind him who you are.
That church lady.
The church lady, yeah. Aren't you?
That works.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be there in force. Yeah, we'll bring everybody with us. So
wonderful. But yeah, the distribution's going really well. We're going to keep it up for as long as possible. Joyce was able to get a grant that's going to carry us through until the end of June. And then we've had some very generous donations. She mentioned the one from the mayor and KUS, I think it was KUSI. And we've had private donations. I think I've got about $1,000 in the bank just to hold us over after June. And we tend to spend, a lot of the food we get at the food bank is free, but we're probably spending a couple $100 a month, or $200 to $300 a month. So the donations that we get are are going to carry us through for quite a while. Because I have a feeling that even once the pandemic is over, it's going to take a while for our economy to fully recover, and people, you know, restaurants and businesses to open up. There's still going to be a lot of people who are out of work. So that's our plan. And thanks for letting me share.
Thank you. And if you know anybody who is suffering and needs groceries, send them over on this Saturday morning. It's once a month at the rec center. And it's a great resource. And thank you for all your work, both you and Joyce and the whole team there. Okay, well, we are 5 minutes early, unless we want to, yeah, go ahead, Roberta.
Oh, but the people that need the food, they have to drive through. They can't walk up. Is that correct?
That's correct. It is a drive-through, and you have to show proof of your Lemon Grove
be able to.
Yeah, that is correct. But we do have a procedure in place. There have been 1 or 2 people who walk up, and so we don't turn anyone away. But to keep everyone safe, we're not advertising that you can walk up. But if somebody walks up, we have put food on a table and ask them to like come up and pick it up, you know. But you could see where that wouldn't work for if we had big crowds of people lined up. But we're definitely we're not turning anybody away. So
that's good to hear, because some people who are suffering don't have cars. So yeah, that's good. Well, thank you all very much for everything that you contribute to our city, making it a better place to live and play and shop. And I have no promises on when we'll be back together for breakfast. I don't even know what's happening at the lagoon. Of course, during COVID, Pastor George passed away, who was the pastor of the Lemon Grove Community Church, where we used to hold this meeting. And I believe his sister has been picking up the reins and pastoring the church in his absence. But I don't know, have not spoken with her. I don't know if she'll allow us to go back there again. I don't know what my husband's job situation will be and if I can pull off breakfast by myself without him. So things are still up in the air. For now, we'll just meet again next month on Zoom, and we'll keep you posted and let you know what the future holds. So hopefully you all stay safe, get vaccinated, and we will be back here second Wednesday of May. So I did not open with prayer, but I would love it if somebody would like to volunteer to close with prayer. Anybody here feel led to do that? All right, Mark will do it. Here, I'll mute. You go ahead and
Yeah. Creator of the universe, our creator, we thank you for your love and grace. We thank you that you not just allow us to participate in it, you want us to. So may all that we receive from you, may we share with others. Thank you for the tireless efforts, the energy, and the love and the humility of which this group and those like them serve this community. It is a blessing. There is so much to do, and sometimes we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but help us to work together, linking arms as we are socially distanced to move forward, to make this world the way that you designed and created it, and how you created us to live in harmony and peace and unity. So thank you again, and thank you that you make it possible through your son Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit. And we ask now too, as we do move through more and more vaccinations and more opening of public spaces, may we continue to care for each other and respect each other. People are still suffering and have suffered, losing a loved one or being affected physically with their health through the pandemic. We pray for healing and help and comfort, and we certainly ask on behalf of our friend, not just a community member, not just a pastor, but a friend, Jeff Leto, that you watch over him, you guide the doctors in their expertise, and that you give comfort to the family through this trial and through this time that his body is now going to be repaired and repairing and rehabilitating. We pray that he come out of this able to praise you and be able to hit the ground running to serve those that he loves. We thank you. We look forward to seeing each other again in a month. May you guide our steps, giving us wisdom and strength in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you all for coming. Have a very
Thanks, everyone.
blessed
It's good to
week.
see you all.
Thank you.
Good to
and
see you all.
Mark.
I'll try to get a lot of this information sent out in case you didn't miss something. You can always save the chat before you hang up. Just click on those 3 dots in the chat room and just hit save, and it will save that whole, all that information will be saved on your computer.
Thank you.
So I'll stay open for a little bit in case you want to do that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Anne. And bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, mine saves automatically.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Ronnie, is that it? Ronnie? Is that how you say your name?
Yes, this is Ronnie. Ronnie, yes.
Ronnie.
Correct.
How did you
Correct.
find out about the clergy meeting?
I think it's my chief sent the Zoom for
Oh,
us
good.
on our website, on our board.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you. Are you stationed? You're working in San Diego, or do you work in Lemon Grove?
Yes, I'm working at La Jolla right now. I'm at the work right now.
Oh, La Jolla. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, it's great to have you. We meet the second Wednesday of the month, and we usually have, as you can see, we have a mixture of pastors, leaders, civic people, the city manager. Sometimes we'll get the lieutenant on from the sheriff's department, and we just find out what's going on in the city and how the churches can come alongside and pray for the city and get involved and serving. So
Yes.
yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
If you
Yes.
if you want to, do I have your email? I mean, you can send it to me, and I can add you to the mailing list if you want to give me your email.
Oh yes. It's my last name, Gilo, Gilot underscore Ronnie,
Okay.
RONY @yahoo.fr.
Okay, so all one word, last name, first name.
Yes,
So
underscore.
Gilot
Last name
Ronnie at,
underscore yahoo.fr.
okay, so no dot or dash or anything in between.
Underscore.
Yes, there is a
Oh,
Gilo underscore.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Roberta. I missed that
Thank
somehow.
you.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll add you to the list.
I didn't quite get that last
Okay.
one. At what?
Yahoo.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Yahoo.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
thank you.
blessed day.
Okay, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I still don't know who Galaxy Tab A is.
Could be somebody on
Listening on.
Bye. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, do you think so? Nope. I don't think that is. Oh, okay. Here, I'll remove. I'm gonna remove. I'll remove Ronnie. Nope.
Yeah, but you have to remove Galaxy Tab A. If 2 devices are in,
Yeah.
just canceling out Ronnie won't cancel out the other.
So Galaxy Tab A, are you still on? Wonder who that is. Okay. All right.